Welcome to William Steel, True Crime and Steel Spotlight Television. Here I am with my co-host Ignacio Esteban.
Bill, what's going on, man? Giving you a new look today, huh?
Yeah, a little patriotic feeling. I got the tour of the country the last several weeks, and I just got back, and things are beautiful out there, as you know.
Yes.
I was in South Florida filming a movie, and I got a little taste. I got a little part. I've done it years ago. I was in Crime Story and a couple other things, and
What was it? Silent Partner, right? Silent Partner.
Silent Partner. Shout out to Cyril. Thank you for this opportunity.
Nice.
It's a small thing. I'm sure I could have made him an offer he couldn't refuse for a nice role because I have millions of fans. But there's only
something.
Yes, I heavily promoted his Mob King movie, which was good. And he's a guy that's trying to make things happen, and he is. So shout out to all the people I met in that process, especially Dave Iacchevetti, Christy Trabata, and George Jokes. These are phenomenal individuals. So everybody knows.
Nicely done. And we did the show last week in Boca there, and I had a chance to meet Tom Madden, former vice president of NBC and the CEO and founder of TransMedia Group.
Yep, and that show already went out over my TV show.
That's right.
And it's going to probably go out today because of the travel and the glitches that I was experiencing. I didn't have a chance to get it out yet on this platform, but it will come out. And
on YouTube, YouTube and Rumble, hopefully too. Rumble is also a big one for us. We do really good on Rumble. We get some big numbers. I know we got some shows that we have on YouTube that are on Rumble, but we'll get them out there, and we're going to have huge numbers. We got some shows close to 1,000, 2,000, 10,000. People like what we talk about. Rumble is a more supportive platform. The algorithms help us more.
Big numbers.
Sometimes a little tougher on other platforms, but we do well. I think Facebook is another one that we do decent also on. Facebook's another one that we have some decent numbers.
Things are starting to pick up big time. Like you said, I introduced you to Tom Madden from TransMedia Group.
He's a nice guy.
Former vice president NBC, and you have a very special announcement to make.
Yeah, I signed with him with TransMedia Group. Thank you, Bill, for making the intro of that. Very good, nicely done. And I'm working with his daughter, which is Adrienne Mazzoni, right? She's the president of the company. Very nice working with her team. And we had a nice press release the other day that did pretty good. Over 260 outlets picked it up worldwide, right? And over 150 million people are exposed to it. So that's outstanding. So check it out. It's all over Yahoo. It's all over Morningstar, all over like ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox outlets throughout the country. So folks, check it out. We're doing things. We have the books out, but the screenplays and the contacts based on Broken Crowns and other things I've written, I think are fascinating and meeting a lot of people. So a lot of big things are happening for Bill and I. Keep tuned on this show. It's going to be a big thing. We'll keep on rocking and rolling here.
Like you said, a worldwide press release went out, and thank you. I'm included in it because you've been my co-host for over a year and a half. So there's actually a clickable link to all my things in there, and I'm very grateful for that. It's incredible when you see those visibility reports and it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're accomplishing something. Whether they do something with it or not, but at least you're getting that exposure, and all those outlets now can cover this, and you especially. Now, okay, I have a reality show, Inmate to Roommate, millions of fans. Season 2 is about to drop, but in your case, you've written close to 80 books.
Yes,
you're going to be the new voice of this Gangland Chronicles on
History Channel. Yeah, I was interviewed for a few episodes, which is great. Looking for that, and working with this group here, TransMedia Group. A lot more shows also do. So exposure shows, contacts, only good things coming, Bill. We're going to work, and hopefully we can make both of us can make some pretty good TV series going on, documentaries, other things we're working on, I think it's exciting times. It's a good investment. I'm so far so good. I'm very happy what I'm seeing with Tom and his group and TransMedia Group. So far so good, and it's a good show. Once it comes out, folks, check it out. I think Tom's on it for a little bit also. You can see him a little bit, right, when he's talking to us.
Yes. Yep. He came on. Now, I want to let you know, and I'm sure that you're aware of this and that you greenlit this as well. I spoke to Tom and Adrienne at length yesterday. They kept reaching out to me. I was in the middle of meetings and interviews all day. By the time I got back to them, they're like, look, this is really important. Have your electronic press kit updated and give us some more headshots, because we're going to, and some of these things that we're going to be booking for Ignacio, we're going to try to book you guys as a team. They're really pushing you, of course, but they also want to book me now as a result of they think it's a good fit because of I have millions of fans built in, and your quickly catching up. So that's good.
Yeah, that's excellent. It's a win-win. I think it only helps us out there, more exposure, and hopefully, like I said, we get some of these projects green lighted where we talk to a lot of people, because this is part of it, but we also want to do other cool things too. So I also like to make ATF Undercover. I think we'll make a cool video game, and we've been talking to people also try hopefully get contacts in there, because you have different layers, a lot of things going on, different organizations, different weaponry. Different cities we can do. It could be a really cool game too. So I mean, I just have a lot. I'm a very creative guy. I got a lot of things coming out always. So I was trying, and I put that out there. Of course, I've written 4 or 5 times screenplays already. I use the Final Draft software, which I think is excellent. I recommend people using it. If you want to write a screenplay, I think it's excellent. Final Draft. I've been using it now for about a few months, and I've written a few already. And it does the formatting for you, which I think is great, which I really enjoy.
I just coming up with an idea of more along your lines. If you don't do it, I might put it with my merchandise. So ATF hats, ATF shirts. Now I don't know how much you can get away with, but like some people do the FBI thing. It's like, federal body inspector.
Inspector, federal body inspector.
It could be like all the fun, or all the fame. And in your case, all the fame.
All the fame. ATF, all the fun. That's what we used to call it. ATF was all the fun. It's in my book. That's what I call it, because we train with so many cool weapons. Right, and explosives, and he says, "Man, that's pretty cool." So I get to shot a lot of different weapons. I became familiar with, I'm good with obviously shotguns and rifles and different pistols and revolvers and everything out there. So and machine guns, and it's pretty cool. So you become a weapons expert. That expertise helps you in life, and it also protects your family, which is important. So
I find I'm not allowed to touch a gun anymore, but I find impressive those little MP5s or whatever the heck
HK MP5. I love the HK MP5. They're tight, they're short. And you got a big magazine in there. That's pretty good. Pretty good stuff there. I like those. Not much recoil either, which I like.
We have several gigantic political stories and crime stories to roll into, but there's also a matter of local significance to you that we can discuss here. And then plus I could put that into its own clip and put that out separately so it can be easily circulated. So
let the fans know. What do you think of my background here? You like my Arturo Fuente poster behind me? People are probably thinking, what is it? It had very colorful. I bought it back in 2000 during the millennium, and it was out of Ybor City from the Arturo Fuente store in Ybor City. The owner sold it to me, and it's supposed to be authentic. So it's a nice picture, nice look, a lot of flags. If you like stogies, I've smoked a few, not bad.
It's funny you should say that. Yes, I was about to mention your background is completely changed, and you're looking good. Everything looks great. Don't forget those images I asked you for,
I sent you some the other day, but I'll send some more.
Okay. Where'd you put them? On email?
No, I sent it to you on text.
I will check for those and try to work with those. All right. So
current events.
Which one do you want to roll into first? We have so many things on the table.
Yeah, let's talk about this horrific situation in Haiti. And if you haven't seen those images out of Haiti, folks, go check it out. It's getting so bad that the United States, but let's see how much the Biden administration, in my opinion, the State Department and Biden administration is going a little slow on this. They need to move quickly because the gangs of Haiti have taken over Port-au-Prince. The prime minister is in Puerto Rico, can't get back into the country, and supposedly he's about to resign or going to when interim government can put in place, but they can't because the gangs have taken over and they're burning the city. People, I think, have been in a panic mode. The governor of Florida, DeSantis, of course, has issued the Florida National Guard be ready. The Coast Guard is ready because there's a mass exodus starting out of Haiti, and they don't want them coming in here. And the Dominican Republic also now has set up huge amount of people to stop them from coming from Haiti. So they're trying to escape any way they can. The people have been displaced actually, and over 1 million. It's a horrible it's a humanitarian crisis that's horrible. And these gang members, the chief of police, his home yesterday was burnt down by these gang members. The chief of police. That means is anarchy. There's no military. There's no government. There's nothing. And the gang. This is like from like The Purge or a horrific movie where these gang members take over. They're coming in. They're stealing everything from your house. They're burning your property. They're raping your daughters or your wives or worse, killing them. That's what's going on right now as we speak. I feel bad. There was this famous author. I can't remember his name right now. He has an orphanage. A lot of Americans have orphanages in Haiti. They're trapped. They can't get out. He had to hire a special helicopter unit to come in, rescue him and his staff members in the middle of the night last night, and the images are unbelievable. What's going on?
I saw a lot of that going on. There was a congressman that said, if Biden won't do his job, I will. And he ordered or arranged a helicopter evacuation of many Americans because, like you said, they're kidnapping them, killing them, abusing them. And, this has been reported in the news. We're not saying things that aren't out there publicly. And so every station you go to is showing horrific images. One of the leaders now, I have a personal connection to what's going on in Haiti. Dear friends of mine from church, I'm not going to say their names here. They just took a cruise, beautiful cruise. I don't know, a week and a half, 2-week cruise. So they start off up here in Indiana. They go down to Miami, I guess Port of Miami. They get held up for a minute. They go on the way back. They say, we just got back, whatever. And so I said, Haiti, who goes to Haiti? Well, most people don't think of it as a tourist destination, right?
No, it's not.
And they said, no, it was a little, private island just off of Haiti, and I'm like, well, it's still government owned. It's still in danger because it's a very unstable place. And they said, well, he said, well, don't worry. We weren't there with when the 4,000 prisoners escaped from prison the other day. That wasn't the area. I said 4,000 people escaped at one time. What the hell's going on in Haiti now? It's always something horrible there. And we pray for the Haitian people.
It's horrible.
Most of them are very good people. And so I didn't even know about this. And he goes, yeah, we're safe and we're out of there now. We're back. That same day, the government, the whole country's overrun with what you're talking about.
The gangs have taken over.
It's not even a coup d'etat. It's just anarchy. So what the
anarchy? Hell? It's horrible. It's gangland. This is now gangland wild, right? They have taken over and they're armed to the teeth. It's because Haiti, it is an embargo for any U.S. weapons in Haiti, but they have all the weapons they want. They have AK-47s. They have all the handguns. They are really well equipped, and these gang members are causing havoc. The poor people, like I said, when you ban guns from the average person to have it, the criminals take over, and look what's happened. It's a typical example. They can't defend themselves. The government. What's going to happen? Be careful with the U.S. Embassy. I know that Biden administration sent some Marines over there to protect it. This could be another Benghazi, Bill. This could be another Somalia, where they end up destroying the embassy. They're going after. Be careful what's going to happen here. We could lose the embassy.
Have we evacuated our embassy yet, or no?
I heard they sent there's some people still there. What I hear.
My understanding is one of the main leaders of this anarchy is a guy, I don't even know his real name.
Barbecue.
They call him Barbecue. He says, no, my mother named me Barbecue, but everybody else said no because he burns all of his enemies. He likes to put people on fire. I know there was something going on in Haiti where they would put was it not a necktie? That's the Colombian thing.
Yeah, they put like the tires around their necks and they let them on fire.
They fill it with gasoline and set them on fire.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's a horrible way to die.
So it's horrible. You see them. The footage I've seen is horrific. They're gunning down everybody in the streets. All the police officers and military are getting rid of their uniforms because they're killing all the military.
They're targets. Yeah, they're targets. Yeah, no doubt. It's more than 4,000 now.
They're going around the countryside, these gangs, and they're emptying all the prisons and jails and turning all the prisoners loose.
They are. They're getting. It's out of control. This is going to be a and they had the UN. They're supposed to have UN peacekeeping force, but they need an interim government first. And they can't get interim government first. The longer they wait to send in a piece, I guess Kenya has been dubbed the force to go in there. The Kenyan military doesn't want to go in there until there's an interim government in place. So, and they can't get one in place. This is going to keep on going worse and worse and worse. This is going to be an inferno. This is hell on earth, Bill. This is hell on earth, and the world's watching.
Humanitarian disasters around the corner because then where does the food going to come in? How are they going to get food in there?
They can't. The only way to do. You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? Just like it did in Mariel in 1980 with the Cubans, the Haitians are going to go on massive boat lifts, and they're going to be stopped, and a lot of them are going to end up sinking and drowning. You know who's going to feast? The sharks. The sharks are going to be feasting. What's going on here? It's a horrible situation.
The premise of the whole Scarface movie, back in the day was the Mariel boat lift. It's a derogatory term, but they call them Marielitos. And a lot of them
from the Mariel area. Yeah.
A lot of them were good political opposition people, good people, but Castro emptied his prisons and mental hospitals and put them on boats. And I think he told, you probably know better because you're Cuban descent and you're a Miami guy.
There were some good people, but unfortunately there were some bad people in there too. Yeah. And that's the criminals came out, people who were sick. And you know who looked weak there? Jimmy Carter. history repeats itself. Biden is another Jimmy Carter.
Of course.
Haiti will be Biden's Marilito. What's going on here?
These weak crime Democrats and no common sense. God bless them. I know a few of them that are good friends, but how can you support like not having a gun in this world? Like you said,
need to protect yourself. This is when people can't protect themselves. Yeah.
When the good people are not armed, these things happen. These things happen. I mean, you have cities where there's compulsory like gun ownership, or in countries rather, where there's like virtually no crime.
Yeah.
Here it's a free for all because only the criminals have them. I tell you what, as a former burglar and jewel thief, I dreaded, when I went to the house, my biggest fears was getting shot by somebody.
Yeah. Well, I'm well armed, and I make sure people see my images. It's important to have weapons training, because I said before, and we said, make sure if your security is called 911 to come and save you,
too late.
It's not going to happen. They're going to be showing up 5-10 minutes late, and too much damage is going to be done already. They're going to kill everybody, take out, and go. So they're gonna
put, you call 911, they're going to put their crime scene tape up, and their investigators, homicide, whoever is going to show
up. That's all. After the fact.
It's very rare they're on time where they catch somebody. And if they catch them in the house, then there's going to be a standoff, and now you and your family held hostage. If they get a chance to leave the house after a burglary or a home invasion, and they get into a vehicle right away, odds of catching them are slim to none if nobody spotted what vehicle they're in.
It's awful, Bill. It's awful situation. People watch it, what's going on, but it's not going to get resolved overnight. It's going to be like this for a while. And a lot of people also blame the weak prime minister that they have there, because he was appointed by the president. His name is Ariel Henry, and he was supposed to have an election. He canceled the election. So there's a lot of issues going on there also. So you have a weak prime minister, someone that people didn't want, and you have this situation that exploded. Man, that was a recipe for disaster. And now the U.S., even though there's some leadership here, very little, they have to move faster, because you don't send any peacekeeping forces anytime soon. Dude, it's going to be an absolute nightmare situation. And there's going to be the death count. It could be even worse than Rwanda in some ways. Remember, Rwanda also was a horrible situation. This is becoming worse than that. So we'll see, folks, what's going on.
Yeah, elections are important because obviously it provides a safety valve for the other side or people with other ideas to get in every few years and try to implement some other ideas rather than the same dictatorial people in there, like Biden, who unfortunately he's in failing mental health, and his policies, not one has been successful. Yet this is what they're getting all around this country. People are dying all over the world because of Joe Biden. And I just don't understand why,
Yeah, he failed exit strategy in Afghanistan, right? Did you see what happened when the State of the Union, since you brought that up? Abbey Gate, remember that? And Abbey Gate near the airport where they had the bomb go off and the 13 military personnel were killed.
Our last day in Afghanistan, and we lost a bunch of people.
I brought that up because there was the father of a Marine that was killed that day at Abbey Gate, stood up. Good for him. You haven't seen those images during the State of the Union. Of course, we all remember Marjorie Taylor Greene piping up to Biden when he was talking, all red with a Trump hat. The guy up who was invited was chanting, Abbey Gate, you're the reason my son is dead, pretty much like that. He was escorted out. But look at those images out there of what happened. And his father, whose son was killed at Abbey Gate, stood up and pretty much was yelling at the president during the State of the Union.
Oh, my God. It's heartbreaking. I mean, these irresponsible they're just so irresponsible, the Democrats. It's incredible. They're more worried about lining their pockets and pretending to help, the blacks and the Hispanics and the underdog and the poor. And all they're doing is abusing them, and they're making their situation worse.
The woke mentality doesn't work.
Right. It's destroying this country. They're creating racial divide where a lot of times it's been healed for a long time, and they're bringing it up again to keep division going.
Division, there's their politics. Yeah.
And a lot of the people that were voting Democrat are fleeing the party. I've seen some rappers, Hispanic and African American, who are coming up with crazy good raps where they're like disparaging Biden. What are you talking about? Trump's no good. What have you ever done for us, Biden, but put us in prison? Trump's freeing prisoners. Trump's trying to help people succeed. You're destroying us by lying to us constantly.
Yeah, and even Jewish Americans are leaving the Democratic Party because they've seen how the Democrats are acting with Israel, right? So you have the Jews leaving the Democratic Party. They're fed up. The woke mentality is that the Jews are also the oppressors, just like the Americans are the oppressors. And the only way to solve that is with future discrimination against our generation or our people. And they said, the only responsible for the sins you committed. Only your own actions. I'm not responsible for the actions of others in the past. You're not responsible for their actions either. Only my actions I'm responsible for. And they want to punish us for people's past actions? I don't think so.
This Gavin Newsom's trying to buy votes in California, another place that's crumbling around everybody because of Democrat failed policies everywhere. He's destroying the major cities there, along with the federal policies. And he's talking about reparations, for slavery.
Oh, my goodness.
What is this, 200 years ago? I had nothing to do with it, nor did you or anybody in existence today. And so over there, you can identify as whatever you want. So I facetiously was kidding. I said, well, I'm going to move to California. I'm going to identify as black so I can claim my reparations. I mean, this is how ridiculous this is going. Tell me no, and then I sue you. Oh, you can't do that because you're really white. Well, no, I'm not. I actually am black,
That's why so many people have left. California is a failed state. People are leaving. Even Sly Stallone, who made a lot of his money in Hollywood, he's moving back to Florida. He lived here for a little bit. He went back to California, and now I think he bought an amazing home. I was looking at the pictures in Palm Beach County. He's moving to Palm Beach County out there, so he has a really nice home out there. They're looking at the images out there, and he has a reality TV show, and he talks with his daughters, and he says, "No, we're leaving. We're done. We're tired of California and their wacky policies. So off to Florida."
God forbid you say a word against it, then you're the demon personified. I have plenty of friends in Hollywood. We get along great, and they know my views. I don't necessarily push them or, but they know where I stand. I respect them. I don't agree with their policies, but the people, they're friends of mine.
Yeah, it has to be respect, Bill. If there's no respect, then there's nothing. You have to respect each other. You have to respect each other.
What's going on with this political weaponization? Our other co-host, Frank Lordy, wrote Framed Innocence. This happened to him. He was a commissioner of the political opposition. He ran as a Democrat against, back then, Republican, what he alleged to be corruption back in Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah.
And so
he's kind of now a Republican now. He's become more of a conservative after what happened.
Yes, he bailed on the Democratic Party. So we love Frank. Frank's wonderful. He babysat me through my whole trip to Florida, as did you to some degree, hearing me my gripes and my successes and all that. So I appreciate you guys.
We had a great show too, Bill. Great show. And what a beautiful condo. What a gorgeous condo. What you showed me in the lobby area there. Great view of the beach. I love the beach. Big pool. I love the water. So, I love Boca too. Boca's a nice place. I don't mind Boca either.
I did interviews from that location with Mac Chop Kenny, artist, very famous artist, and it's movie star now.
I talked to him, right? I talked to him on the phone. You brought him on. I talked to him a little bit. Nice guy. Yep. And you also have Bruce too, right?
Bruce Sosa. He's star of Mob King and a bunch of movies. Doggone with Rob Lowe, and he's auditioning for things left and right. This guy's quickly moving up the A-list.
Nice.
And pulls up in a vehicle that's like out of this world, because he's really doing it, man. This guy is a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. Most important thing I count him as a friend, and he's a man of faith. I get choked up talking about him. I've never had a friend like that was so encouraging as Bruce is. I had him over there at the condo. Now we're 8th floor overlooking the Atlantic Ocean and Intercoastal Waterway, Boca Raton Resort and Club. Mm-hmm. I interview him for, 40 minutes, right? Tom's there. He joins us, Tom Madden. And so we're on the balcony overlooking gorgeous Atlantic Ocean.
It is nice.
The yachts, the mansions, everything. We were done with that, and we sat around for about 5 hours on that balcony with Tom and his wife, beautiful Rita. Shout out to Rita.
Okay.
And we sat on that balcony for like 5 hours talking about faith, talking about life, talking about friendship, relationships, marriage, really deep, important topics. And this is a man so full of wisdom and everything. Of course, Tom is too. He's been around forever. Yeah. God bless him, man. He's a very smart guy and very spiritual guy. So is his wife. So I was like just mesmerized, taking it all in and having. You'll see pictures and stuff I'm going to be putting up with Bruce.
Okay, cool. No, what you showed me was pretty nice. The area, no doubt about that. So
I was going to sit down.
Shout out to Tom again, and hopefully we keep on doing a lot of big things. This is a TransMedia Group. We're working with them, and I think there's a lot of good potential with the material we have, my expertise, my background with ATF. People are watching, looking to do a documentary, a screenplay. I've written this stuff, and in our background, I think we can do something really good.
I want to go circle back real quick. I was down there filming a little tiny part I have in Silent Partners. It'll be out in theaters and streaming in a few months. Cyril was going to sit for an interview, but that's his show, so he was extremely busy the day we spent together. But he's always makes himself available. So shout out to him. I got to interview several other people involved, and I will say this: Dave Iacchevetti. Now, Dave's father was a captain in the Gambino family. He wrote a book called Fat Dave. Silent Partners is loosely based upon that book, but he's coming out with a second book, and there's a Haiti connection. His father, when he was a Gambino captain, was one of the people with other mobsters with Papa Doc Duvalier.
Papa Doc, yeah.
Papa Doc, Baby Doc, with Papa Doc, who ran around a blockade and got surplus World War II weaponry into Papa Doc, into Haiti.
Of course. Yeah, they've been doing that for years.
That book's coming out soon. Check out Dave Iacchevetti's books and Club TV streaming. I forgot to say that. Yep.
Cool deal. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. But yeah, if you're also looking for that, yeah, reach out to Tom Madden too. TransMedia Group. They're very good PR firm. So far, so good. And we're setting up a lot of good shows, and we're working a lot of cool things. Another interesting topic, Bill, since we're talking about current events and all that, and it has to do, and especially there's so many Jewish Americans in South Florida, is Chuck Schumer's comments he made yesterday in the Senate floor. He's a Senate Majority Leader, the highest ranking Jewish American politician in this country. He's a Democrat. Good friends with Joe Biden. You can see State of the Union. The first guy stand up, always there, clapping for him, right? Saying pretty much demanding new elections to pretty much remove Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister, who's just pretty much trying to finish the war, finish off Hamas once and for all. Because you know why? Because of the pressure Palestinian Americans are putting up in Michigan with Talib, right? The Jihad Squad, who will not vote for him unless the war is stopped. He knows right now. I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at electoral numbers in college because of Fannie Willis. Trump is going to win Georgia. The border crisis, he wins Arizona back again, and New Mexico. He needs one more state. He's going to take Michigan because Michigan is not going to vote for Biden. With RFK Jr. in the mix, Trump wins the election, the electoral college. That's all he needs. He doesn't even need Pennsylvania or Wisconsin, but he's going to take Michigan.
I firmly believe at this point, anybody voting for Biden is just voting party line, and they're not looking at the damage he's inflicted on this country.
Yes, they're brainwashed. They're snowed. No matter what, I'm blue. That's all they do. So they get snowed, and that's all they do. Even if it's an 82,
and they deserve it when the Muslims are blocking down the supporters of the Hamas and all that are shutting down airports, shutting down interstates. Well, if your loved one needed emergency medical care and a flight couldn't land, or a heart transplant and a heart went bad on the tarmac, because
you're upset with that.
But they support it. The Democrats are more power to them. The hell with Israel.
Israel
trying to help everybody. They have more scientists and inventions out there than probably any other country.
Bill, Biden is too old, 82 years old. We've talked about this. His mental faculties. He's stumbling, bumbling every time. He's going to be. Do you want an 86-year-old in the White House? Heck no. He can barely function as it is. The job is demanding. You need someone who's on their prime, at their prime, Bill. To be president of this country, the greatest country on earth, you need a person at their prime. He is way past his prime in every capacity possible. Not fit to be in the White House.
He's been corrupt for just about his whole career, it appears. And he'll probably go down as the most corrupt politician in American history.
His son's trial starts in a few months. Hunter Biden for the weapons charges, lying, having the weapon, being a drug user, and then the money laundering and tax evasion. Right, he has back-to-back major trials, federal trials, back-to-back. Hunter Biden. Now, is he gonna pardon him? Maybe.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe he will. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. He won't let Junior, his last son, that's alive, to go do Fed time. But you know what? He's a piece of work himself too.
Remember the parody thumbnail I did when I talked about his case? I have Biden looking scared. He's looking scared and he's smoking crack and he's in a cell with a Yakuza guy.
Love story.
The diaper looking thing, and he's looking at him like he wants to have his way with him.
the Yakuza love story, right? Why, Bill?
Yeah, Hunter Biden's cellmate, federal prisoner, a big Yakuza guy looking for love.
Yeah, he's not gonna do time. His father won't let him do time. You know what? He doesn't care. If he knows he's gonna lose the election, he's gonna pardon him. He's not gonna let Junior do any time. That's for sure. So going back to we talk about election interference with the Chinese and the Russians, right? And yet Chuck Schumer at the Senate floor, I've never seen this before ever happen. It's one thing you want to criticize a policy, but to demand new elections, specifically to remove a conservative member named Bibi Netanyahu from power, That is unbelievable. I have never seen that before.
Schumer, he's unbelievable too. I think one day he's probably headed for prison because things come out about him all the time. I remember Trump saying, this guy talks all this stuff about me, but I remember many times he's in my office begging for money to run for election personally. And he said, I would give it to him, this and that. He said, but now he talks all this crap. He said, there was a time I could have told him if he wants a donation, get on his knees, and he would have done it.
Chuck Schumer, man, he's a character, but a lot of Jewish Americans who are supporting Israel are not happy with him right now, what he's doing, because he's doing it for political reasons, for the betterment, not of Israel, but the betterment of Biden administration to try to beat Trump, because they're going to lose Michigan. Because they know they're losing Georgia, a disaster. They barely won Georgia. They know they're going to lose Arizona with a disaster on the border and Nevada, but they're going to also lose Michigan and possibly even Wisconsin. It's going to be a rout. This is going to be 1980 all over again, where Jimmy Carter got routed by Ronald Reagan. Trump is going to rout Joe Biden. Because also, don't forget, Anderson also helped Reagan. RFK Jr. is going to help. And we're going to transition out to RFK Jr. is helping Trump, who now announced, which I found interesting, a couple of interesting candidates. He has a short list, right? He put there Jesse the Body Ventura. You remember Jesse Ventura?
Trump did?
No, RFK Jr.
Oh,
RFK
sorry.
Jr.
Okay.
He's going to have Jesse the Body Ventura, which is the former governor of Minnesota, but famous wrestler. He was also Navy SEAL training, right? I think SEAL Team 12, whatever, years ago. Wasn't in Vietnam. I don't think he ever saw action, but he was part of the team. A governor that was kind of controversial, but he talks what he thinks, and sometimes he's into the conspiracy theories, just like Aaron Rodgers, famous quarterback, Super Bowl champion from the Green Bay Packers, who now plays for the New York Jets. He's also involved, he's about to retire maybe, also involved with conspiracy theories, especially about Sandy Hook and possibly not happening. And that's, of course, we know that happened. Let's be clear. That was a horrible mass shooting. That's like Alex Jones type material, where they get involved in conspiracy theories. So RFK Jr. wants to be taken seriously. He needs to pick someone who has, like Trump did. He picked Pence, former governor who was in Congress, someone who knows how Congress works a little bit. Find someone who's respectable. But if they pick any one of those two guys, RFK Jr.'s chances goes from like this to this. He has to pick someone that has some knowledge of how things work, because if not, two people with no experience, it's a disaster.
Yeah. Interesting. We're talking about Trump here. So I didn't have a chance to go back to Mar-a-Lago, which I filmed over there previously, but it was just a few miles from where I was. But when I flew out yesterday, it's almost, I don't know, close to 3.5 hours from South Florida to Chicago. So as we're taxiing past in this gigantic plane that I was in, it was really very spacious. We taxied right past Trump's private jet on the tarmac.
In Chicago?
No, in Florida. He's there. If his jet's there, he's there. If this jet's there, he's there. He's in Mar-a-Lago. So it's gigantic black. I think it's a 727 or something. But
it looks like it. Yeah.
It's black. It's got his name in gold. So I'll put it up right here on the screen in a second. But yeah, it was pretty. I tried to get some quick pictures of it from the window.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I told him. I remember I told you a couple of weeks ago on the last show that I was trying to go in line. My daughter, we were in Richmond, and she was doing the national competition at the convention center. And Trump this is a huge convention center. In the same time, the other part, Trump's having a rally. Right. So I had free tickets. And I went online. I got free tickets. So my daughter and I, my other daughter who wasn't competing, we're trying to wait in line. And the line was wrapping around blocks and blocks. It was like a snake going like this everywhere. And we were sitting in line for over 3 hours and getting nowhere. And I say, hey, we have to do something else. So we had to bolt. But my daughters, because they were connecting, we were able to see Trump on the other side doing his speech there. But I don't think Biden Bill gets those kind of numbers.
Right. No, I don't think he does. Trump gets them without even trying. That's why they won't bring Biden out anywhere. He can't draw numbers.
He has to hide in the basement. And
he screws up every last thing he says. He does inappropriate stuff. He talks to people that have been dead for a few months. He sniffs on the little girl's hair. People are talking about death.
He likes to lick his ice cream. Remember, he likes his ice cream. He likes to lick his ice cream.
A lot of people a lot of nursing homes give out a lot of ice cream because
they need it.
That's one of the few things seniors really, really like, because it brings pleasant sensations and memories.
And it stimulates, I think, some other. That's why if you get him to talk a little bit, they have the reporters come after him when he comes out of the ice cream shop. That's when the first time they get him, because he's already had a few licks in there already. So
he's already had a few licks.
He has a few licks, and then he makes some silly comments. and then the world starts laughing again.
Because because normally if he's on there and he doesn't have an ice cream fix like the sugars or whatever,
he's got a sugar fix.
That smooth sensation, the good memories of happiness, and he can actually be very, very abrasive and nasty to people. They say his White House and his vice president's White House and his White House or whatever are extremely toxic. People are quitting left and right. They're just so horrible to people, the way they treat people. So.
He knows he's at the end. He knows he's at the end. He knows his son is in legal jeopardy, big time. Yeah. He knows he has to make a decision. He must understand if he looks himself in the mirror, he sees but he's probably been snowed so much about the lies been told him, but he has the failed policy, but he's been lied to a lot and he believes his lies. You know, if you're narcissistic and you believe your lies, no matter what they tell you, he's going to keep on going. So he believes it to the end, and it's not him. It's the other side that's caused this problem. It's not him though. That's a problem right there. So we'll watch RFK Jr. We'll see how he does. He is supposed to be. He's working on with the Libertarian Party. He'll be on every state on the ballot.
Right.
So remember that he'll be on every state in the ballot. So watch RFK Jr. And another big news. I think today the judge is going to make a decision later today. Fani Willis will probably end up being removed from the prosecution out of Fulton, Georgia. The district attorney will have the affair. And brought in Nathan Wade, who was her lover, and paid him, knowing without revealing that affair what was going on. And he's married. And then they were officially divorced. And her office paid him over $600,000 where they took these elaborate trips, exotic trips, the Caribbean, these cruises, Napa in California. Unbelievable on taxpayer dollar and what was going on. I never revealed that whole situation. I think she's removed. I think he's removed. And maybe the case at the end is dismissed.
Yeah, she's vicious. She keeps racial divide going. Her father was a Black Panther and all this nonsense. And so she's going to prison, bottom line. You cannot take $600,000, give it to your boyfriend to prosecute Trump when your boyfriend has zero experience prosecuting a felony, let alone a former president of the United States who's a billionaire. I mean,
he did divorce cases.
Of judgment and corruption is this,
Yeah, he dealt with divorce cases, traffic cases. And in a racketeering case, when you're going after the biggest fish ever, the former president of the United States, you need an A team, not a B or C team, especially where you're sleeping with this person and now revealing that information. That's an ethical conflict of interest, and they lied about it. And when they start this relationship, it appears they lied about it, where everything's showing them. They're going to be. They convicted people for doing the same thing, lying under oath. They were lying under oath.
Yeah. When you think about it. The same thing they're doing, lying under oath, and the cell phone records prove that the lies.
Everything's showing it.
Right.
Even a former partner of Nathan Wade was testifying. Can't remember his name right now. And his text messages when he found out they had an affair are pretty damning to these two also. So I think at the end they both say goodbye, and we'll see. We see the Senate has an investigation going on, and also there's another one for her misspending campaign funds. We'll watch that one also.
Of course, this whole thing is election interference. So that could be a federal crime she's looking at as well. Election interference. She deliberately did this to thwart his ability to properly run for office.
She had campaign funds that she's illegally used also for her when she ran for office. That's a big problem for her that's coming out now.
So Fani Willis, the boyfriend, the judge in the New York case on Trump, the white guy, I forget his name, the prosecutor, Alvin Bragg, and then the AG in New York. So these are like.
Oh, did you hear the latest on Alvin Bragg?
These are like the poster children for Banana Republic. We don't run a country like this. We agree.
Here's the latest on Alvin Bragg. Here's the latest one that just came out. They're gonna have to remember they're supposed to start the trial in a few weeks.
Yeah,
but they're not going to be able to now because of discovery issues. They had stuff they held back where they just released yesterday. So now they're asking for at least 60 or 90-day continuance. They're going to have to give it to them because it's a discovery, if not dismissed. This is a big issue. They sat on stuff that's discoverable that should have been given to them for the defense, and they were not given to until yesterday. So let's see what happens here. Now, they sat on it for a year. That's going to be a problem for their case.
That's called a Brady violation. And I'll tell you what, I was a law clerk in prison. But a Brady violation, you can't withhold exculpatory information. The prosecutor can't from the defense. Yeah. So if that's what's going on, I missed that. But we already know this is a politically brought prosecution, as is the Attorney General.
It's embarrassing. And now the Supreme Court is going to look at the immunity case if he has it, especially with the documents. If the president can have the documents in his house, and if he's immune for prosecution out of Miami. So that's something else that's coming out too. So we'll keep an eye. I don't think any of these cases go to trial until after the election, if they do.
Not only that, I saw I forgot where it was cited, but that even after the presidency, he's allowed, provided there's a secure place, and he kept them secure. And then when they became involved, the archives and the Secret Service, they gave him additional guidance on how to secure them within his residence at Mar-a-Lago, and he did exactly what they said. So then here we go with Biden lying, and he doesn't get charged for stuff in broken down boxes, top secret material in a storage unit and in his garage, right? All this top secret stuff in his garage, parked next to his cars.
Yeah, Robert Hur's case. You remember what Robert Hur said about him?
And he says, "Oh, the difference is I cooperated with the authorities about that, and Trump didn't." And like, are you kidding me? They were over there constantly. They've resecured it because of a request. You know, if they missed rooms, I heard they missed rooms where they searched because the place is so big. You know, and there's hidden compartments and safe rooms and stuff in there. But
and Robert Hur, who's now testifying in front of Congress, who was special counsel on that, who came from Garland's office, pretty much said that he was a nice old man, but pretty much his memory, and I'm paraphrasing here, is absolutely atrocious. How can this guy be president of the United States when his memory is so bad like this? It's unacceptable. It shows that he's not fit to be in office. Pretty much made a case. This is from their own administration, their own people. Well, that shows this guy's not fit to be in office.
Let me ask you this from a political aspect, because I don't know exactly how this election runs. So, okay, he's the, whatever, the Democrat who they're putting up, and we have Trump. Is it too late for the Democratic Party to say no way and we're putting somebody else up, or is he a lock for running?
I think he's a locked in because he's the incumbent, and plus no one else. Right? I think that's it. He's a lock, and he's another Jimmy Carter. Like Jimmy Carter was a lock. Okay, well, you went with Jimmy Carter in 1980, you lost. You want to go this guy in 2024, you're going to lose. That's the way that's going to happen. They're with this guy.
When all these Democrats start going to prison, right now. I will say this. I starred a TV show on A&E Network, shout out to A&E, called Inmate to Roommate. It's about prisoners getting out and living with a non-family member. I can take you in when you get out of prison. I don't care how corrupt you were, as long as you're trying to turn your life around. And let's see how I help you get on your feet and get your driver's license and a new career after your political corruption. And I can get you on the show, most likely, because they ask me all the time, do I know anybody getting out? So wouldn't that be great to have somebody like Fannie Willis or Alvin Bragg be my new roommate in episode, say, 5 or 6 of Inmate to Roommate?
Yeah. That'll be interesting. I don't think they'll do it, but it'll be an interesting concept. That's for sure.
Just the thought that came to mind here.
That is interesting right there. So
we agreed never to discuss politics. It's all about reintegration to society, getting on your feet,
getting back up. Yeah. They probably don't see it that way. They probably saw that they were set up. And, they'll spin it around to themselves. You know how that is.
Of course.
Yeah, a lot going on. So let's talk about something locally, Bill, that's touching home with me, right? And we're changing topics here, Garrett. And this is an interesting story here. People who don't know what Buc-ee's is, go look at what Buc-ee's is. It's a huge, you have a 120 pump gas station with an amazing, enormous convenience store, which pretty much have all different kind of merchandise, food, huge bathrooms, enormous bathrooms in there. I never been to a Buc-ee's until like last summer, and I went to two of them actually. One near Daytona, another one near St. Augustine. Right, we're doing a trip, and we checked them out, and just the line, just to get in there off the interstate is enormous. Right, enormous line to get in. Imagine just concept 120 gas pumps. That's mind blowing. Imagine the parking lot.
Repeat that. I thought I was hearing things. I was going to ask you how many.
Just 120, and just imagine the parking for that. Imagine this huge convenience store. But it's not a convenience store. It's like a mega store. I'm going to call it a mega store on top of that also, because they have huge amounts of food being made inside there, merchandise in there, huge bathrooms in there. That's something where maybe in an isolated area is okay, right, Bill? But no one, I'm telling you right now, no one wants that in their residence. And I'm having this little battle, and I'm talking something personal here, in the county I live in, which is Stafford County in Virginia, where they want to build it off the Interstate 95. And a lot of us who live here in this area, which is a very nice residential area, don't want it. So I'm reaching out to the commissioners out there. We don't want it. We're trying to get a petition going. We don't want it. And I'm looking historically how people don't want these Buc-ee's in their area for many, many, many reasons, between the damage to the environment, between having higher crime in the area, higher pollution in the area, and of course, the horrific amount of traffic that brings in the air, which brings congestion and more pollution and more headaches. And Bill, as your experience knows, off Interstate 95, we all know that's a busy interstate all the way from Florida to New York City, right? A lot of people come back and forth. They don't mind doing a stop at Buc-ee's, but guess what? Also, a lot of bad people stop at Buc-ee's too, right? You have people who are maybe sexual offenders, right? Criminals out there. And when you're close to that, what does that attract? The element maybe gas up, right? And then maybe check it out. What do you think about that, Bill, with your experience?
Well, I'll say this for your audience who might not know, and for some people joining us, I served 18 years for nonviolent crimes. I was a professional jewel and art thief. I would love having a gas station nearby an affluent area where I could take a pit stop, maybe get some orange juice and feel out the neighborhood and see if how many police were driving past. It was a good stop to just observe without being viewed as suspicious. I could pull up and do any of the services there, stall around, and then get back in the car, drive it up into the neighborhood, hit, 2, 3, sometimes 4 houses in one day and leave. So I would love a gas station around that affluent area. Now, I will say this. I saw some of the change petitions about trying to block this Buc-ee's. Now,
Right.
we're capitalists. We are, we believe in the capitalistic system.
We are.
The problem is the location is everything. For them, for business model, it's everything. But for people's peace of mind and health, it's everything. Now, one of the things I found on this change petition, which illustrates every issue, besides the selling of cheap, carcinogenic, allegedly trinkets and junk food in a mammoth, setting. Okay.
Unbelievable.
You have so many pumps and so many gallons of fuel held there, which they have to vent. Those fumes are carcinogenic and going right into these affluent neighborhoods with his kids and elderly and everybody else and people in good health that don't want to be around there. But when you talk about 100 something pumps, then you talk about how do you find the employees? These days, they can't find employees to work at a, McDonald's. It's very difficult. And even to stay there. So where are they going to find the employees there?
And what's it working? Yeah. And the environment's not a good environment. And then, of course, crime, right, Bill? Crime's a big issue.
And the crime. So the crime, it gives people like what I used to do, a place to regroup, fuel up, get something to drink, go do their crimes and leave. But more so, I would literally use a gas station as a vantage point, stall around 10 or 15 minutes before. Okay, you kind of get your bearings, you get calm, you do what you do. Unfortunately, I was very calculating what I do, and I don't follow in my footsteps because it cost me a lot of years in prison in the end. But they're high crime for sure, because a lot of drug deals go down in gas stations, as you know. How many times has DEA, probably ATF, met the bad guys at the gas station? Right? Let's be fair.
A lot of locations, but not just those kind of deals. How about real crime? Right?
Right.
How about smash and grabs, carjackings, cars being stolen, right? Shoplifting, kidnapping. How many abductions of small children occur at these kind of locations? Easy to disappear kids. There's nothing good that comes out of anything like this. No one wants this near a nice residential area. I'm not against a Buc-ee's, but not here, not in my backyard. And there's been a big movement for years against people who've been successful in North Carolina, Texas, and other places, keeping the Buc-ee's away from coming.
I think I'm gonna have to be part of that. To approve this might be like city commissioners or something, right? And where do they stand? It almost seems like if they're going against the public interest in that community, what's really going on behind the scenes? Now, we're not making any accusations here, but it sure seems shady that you're not listening to your constituents, I guess, and your voters, the people who don't want it there, yet you're voting for it. Are they the ones who are voting this in? They're saying it's okay?
So we're in a preliminary stage where we have to get involved and to make sure it doesn't come in. And elections matter, because if they do vote for it, people are paying attention, and elections matter, and people will be heard one way or the other. So elections matter, people will vote. So this is something that's very passionate in the area, especially where I live. Nobody wants us in here. No one said anti-capitalism.
It goes across party lines. Basically, Republicans and Democrats don't necessarily want it there.
I know if you live here, you don't want it.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want this. No, it's common sense. You know what? Imagine the headaches coming out the interstate all the time, dealing with a huge line, trying to get back to your home, or deal with the traffic, the congestion, the pollution, everything that goes bad. Yeah, if you want to build something great, like we said, build some nice restaurants. I would love to have them build, some nice franchise restaurants out there, or something else. Build something nice. That is something, like I said, there's health reasons, health issues involved there, crime issues involved there. There's a lot of issues. People do not want a behemoth and especially, we don't need more gas stations. We have already other gas stations in the area right there. Why would you want to build that there?
you can bet they did a traffic pattern count. They did all kinds of analytics and due diligence before they selected that spot that they want to develop this Buc-ee's in. However, I guarantee you they have a backup in case it can't get approved, which might be a little bit further off the busy path, but maybe more acceptable to you guys. Now, I learned one thing filing grievances in prison and working as a law clerk for many years is that when you present a grievance, you always should present your problem and then what you want done about it, remedy sought. Now, you guys are saying, stop this, and it's not really your place to give them a secondary option.
No, that's it.
Do you have something you could put out there and say, well, why not over there?
Well, if they want to do it, I don't mind them doing it near the airport, which is miles away from us, which is south of where I am, near an executive airport, which is very more open, and I think be better situated for that. I mean, I don't mind that, but I don't think where we're at, it's a good spot for putting this behemoth there. It's not good at all. So that's something I'll be working on, is trying to have and getting support to stop this Buc-ee's from coming here. Because it's like I said, having a family, beautiful area, it's not a good fit. Buc-ee's in this is not a good fit. And if you haven't seen it, folks, go check online and see how big this is. And you wouldn't want this in your backyard either.
Yep, we're gonna have some images up about it, so we support that not being built in a beautiful, affluent area. Not because anybody's being arrogant about how they're living, but because it's not safe to have this much traffic.
No, it's not.
And carcinogenic materials this close to people's homes. We also want to shout out to some people that we're working with, at least, on our side, because I was a law clerk when I was in prison. I did a lot of habeas, post-conviction motions, lawsuits, and we're working with some people that are in prison wrongfully convicted. So shout out to we want to bring attention to the case of Rodney Barno, 55 years to life in California for a nonviolent crime, and parole just denied him after 20 years in prison. So, and there was changes to the law out there on what they can do and can't do on 3 strikes. The San Diego prosecutor's office got a $5 million grant to process these cases of people that have to be resentenced and take that strike off them, right? Get resentenced by guidelines. And some reason they're going around this guy's case. So we're trying to figure out what happened to this $5 million and why do they keep bypassing Rodney's case. Then David Michael Reinhardt, family, and some lawyers allegedly stole hundreds of millions of dollars. The evidence is there. The sister's now living in a palatial, I think it's $30 million historic mansion in San Francisco. Her husband's a bullion dealer, gold dealer. And that's exactly what Dave was set to inherit. And yet he's sitting in prison without a bar of soap. So we're going to try to publicize Dave's case. Also, J.R. Weichel, he's in Indiana prison. This guy here tried to pull over for the police. And yes, he was in felon in possession of a handgun. But when he finally was giving up the slow speed chase because he had drugs on him and he was trying to ingest them before he got pulled over, unfortunately, because you could die doing that. So he's admitting, though, he wasn't in the right in what he was doing, but he's on video surrendering. And when he was getting ready to come out, they shot him when he was surrendering in the back of the head with a beanbag. And then he still tried to come out and he was laying down. I'm trying to remember the sequence. He heard, and it's on tape, turn the dogs loose on him anyway from the police. He said, F this, and he jumped back in his car and closed the door, and then a fuselage of bullets. They hit him in the neck. He's near death. They drag him out, lay him on the ground, and they're just standing around rendering zero aid to this guy on camera. It was streamed Facebook Live all over the place. Multiple jurisdictions are involved. His sister, Nikki, and his mother, Wendy, are big advocates for him, and we're going to be hopefully you're
watching this case too. All right. You got a lot of stuff going on there too, Bill. That's excellent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I appreciate, with your background in law enforcement, you're willing to, sit still and hear about these things. For my audience, we support the police. I have a criminal background. He was a law enforcement. So we're a good fit. But Ignacio has always said that he's willing to cover these wrongful conviction cases if he's convinced. And so I do send him some of this evidence at times, and he has discussed it with us. He's not averse to helping innocent people getting out of prison.
And what's the status of the case with the DeSantis in Florida with that one guy whose son was killed?
I can't say a lot, but shout out to Professor Sandy Modell and Bruce Sosa, who brought that case to my attention. We profiled his son Ryan was murdered. DeSantis and the prosecutor never wanted to prosecute the murderer because they felt they'd lose some NRA votes. There's been a lot of attention on the case. I can't say much beyond that. Sandy's very happy. Samantha did that case with me. You did it. And Bruce Sosa, the actor, brought it to our attention. So things are going right.
Good. So we'll keep an eye on that one too. All right. Sounds good.
They should right now. So.
All right. So everybody take a look. Our books on Amazon, right? You got ATF Undercover, the most dangerous crime syndicate. Check out the PR news release that we have out there from TransMedia Group. You can go in Yahoo Finance. You can type in my name, Ignacio Esteban. You'll check it out. It's all over the different outlets, and
put the
get
link
more information
too. Go in the link and click on the press
You're gonna put it there. Excellent.
Yes. Put it there. My fans, your fans can click in the link to this show, and it'll take you right to the press release and everywhere where it's been covered.
Yeah. What do you think of the video I did on YouTube of the magic mug?
Oh, yes. You have a broken crowns. I think it was black, and you pour your hot water in it, and all of a sudden your logo comes up.
White turns white, and you can see the image of the broken crown, right? Split in half. You've seen other shows in the past. So go to my YouTube page, have a fun time with that, and check out the video and subscribe and like. I got more stuff coming out, so it's pretty cool. And you go to oh yeah, what's that?
Just one of my props. I put some kind of diamond props on once in a while.
Oh, nice.
This is the magic wand. How we have to get rid of the
magic mug and the magic. Yeah.
We're gonna run into problems with our advertisers. They pay big bucks to come on here.
Yeah, Printify. Go check undercoverinc.printify.me, and you can find all my merch out there. It's pretty good. Even shoes, right, Bill? You can see even broken crowns and shoes. The screenplay I'm working on. Hopefully, we have good connection, good contacts. I have a lot of ideas, folks. If you're looking at my background, ATF, with all the things I my background know, I was in headquarters and in my career, and I worked with the number 1 in command for Central Region, who later became number 2 command overall ATF. Worked intimately with them for 2 years with the director with briefings. I have a lot of good ideas for good cases that can make for interesting drama, interesting documentaries, whatever. And I've written about it, and I also have screenplays. So please check me out. Call me, contact me, or contact my PR, and we can go forward.
And if you'd like to be a guest on my show, the contact information is on the screen. You have a case of actual innocence you want to present here, I'm going to vet the case. Our books, my books, Ignacio's books are available on Amazon and our websites and everything. So that's Ignacio's book. And here's one of mine that was covered by Nancy Grace on her podcast about the wealthiest serial killer in American history.
Oh, talking about Nancy Grace. I might be on her show soon, Bill. We'll see.
Oh, okay. And there's my other co-host book, Frank Lordy. We love you, Frank. Incredible book about weaponization of the justice system against the political adversary.
I'll let you know if I go on Nancy Grace's show. I'll let you know.
Absolutely. She covered my book. Let's hope she covers you. And she's awesome. She's the queen of true crime. If you Google my name, yes. I come across as the king of true crime right now.
She also was a former prosecutor in Fulton County.
Yeah.
Look how everything comes right.
You know her backstory? She was in college studying English. She was going to be an English major. She went to a convenience store. Her boyfriend went in and got murdered during a robbery. Right. She was engaged to this guy. Yeah. So she was a crime victim. Thank you for joining us. We have to wrap this up. We're running out of time. Ignacio, thank you. To our advertisers, we still have enough time to have all of you guys in there. Thank you so much for your support. Things are growing. They're exploding.
Maybe Arturo Fuente with time will send me a case of cigars.
There you go. maybe they'll send me one too. We'll keep them.
There we go.
I'll have him as an underwriter.
Good stogies. I love that poster. Like I say, I had it in 2000, Ybor City, bought it from the owner, and pretty cool.
Yep. When we filmed it, I think it was called Cigar Time in South Florida. Vinny's the owner. He owns a bunch of cigar stores. That's where we filmed Silent Partners, the scene in a cigar gigantic place. I don't smoke, but it's a fascinating place. So
I only smoke cigars on occasion.
Thank you for joining, everybody. Like Rodney King said, can't we all just get along? Take care, guys. Bye.